Now, NewsNation contributor Mick Mulvaney, the former Trump White House chief of staff, also former OMB director. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic. If you don't mind, Mick, I just want to start, because I want to spend a lot of time on the GOP, with a quick comment on what we just reported before the break on former President Biden's health, because it's more of a political question, at least to me. A spokesperson just told us that his last known PSA test, was in 2014. And we've been talking to doctors, yesterday, for example, someone said, well, older men, sometimes they don't get the test. And my question, this is why I think it's a political question, was, well, he was president of the United States and he was thinking about running for president again. So wouldn't it be different? Now we know last test known was 2014. Thoughts?
Yeah, my head sort of goes to the same place. Look, I don't want to play doctor. I mean, that's just, I'm not doing that. I don't know enough about cancer. I know my dad died from it, but that's it, right? So I'm not going to say, oh my goodness, I can't believe he's got this or didn't have this or whatever. So I look at this from my chief of staff standpoint. And when I'm the chief of staff, I'm going to rely on the White House doctor. The White House doctor is going to come to me because the White House doctor technically works for the chief of staff. He says, look, I want to run the president through tests 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to say, okay, that's great. You're the doc. That's fine. And if the president says, yes, I'll take 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, then that's the end of it from my perspective. If the doc says he wants to do 5 tests and the president says, no, I only want to do 3, that's an issue for me as the chief of staff. I want to know why. I'm going to talk to the president. I'm going to talk to the doctor, et cetera. So I'm wondering if this was even discussed in the White House. I expect that it would be. I mean, I knew what was happening with President Trump. That's part of the job of the chief of staff. We didn't have anything like this, but you're in the flow of information. So I'm asking the question: Did Ron Klein or Jeff Zients know that the 70-something-year-old president was not getting his PSA test? I think it's not a political question. It's not a medical question. It's more of a process question. Yes. Is the White House being run properly? That's where I look at this.
Because PSA tests were reported out in the summaries for President Trump, and also, I believe, for former Presidents Obama and Bush 43 as well, but not for President Biden, and now we hear this. Okay, let's go back to President Trump on the Hill today. I'm really curious to see what you think of a couple of things. The SALT, we had Mike Lawler in one of the clips, okay? So the president has reported, the Hill had the quote, that he went into this meeting on the SALT deductions, because Mike Lawler's the congressman from New York, and he said to him, let it go. I know your district better than you do. If you lose because of SALT, you're going to lose anyway, he said to Lawler. But I don't know if Lawler's going to let it go. It's a good quote. What do you think of this? How's it playing out?
Yeah, first things first. How could you let me do that first segment with my hair looking like that? I mean, come on.
I thought you looked great.
Out here. Goodness gracious!
Wait, did Claudine get it in your ear and tell you to fix your hair? Is that what happened?
No, I'm looking at myself for the. I'm looking at myself for the return. I look like I just got out of the shower.
No, look, you're fine.
Lawler is. It's fascinating for me to watch, right? And SALT is a fascinating philosophical thing for me. I always thought we did the right thing back in 2017. It's not about money. It is to Mr. Lawler. It's about the principle of the thing. What it is it's a tax incentive. A financial incentive for states to raise their taxes, because a state like New York could say, well, you know what, let's raise our taxes $100. Our people are only going to have to pay 50 of that because they're going to get a deduction against their federal income tax. So it essentially moves money from the federal government out to the states. That was the philosophy behind getting rid of this in 2017. Lawler doesn't like it. I get it. That's his district. My guess is that he probably knows his district a little better than Trump. And I'm not sure that argument is very compelling. I don't think. Listen, they're going to vote for it eventually. They're going to pass something. This is the Trump tax cuts. It's not going down in flames. And if it does, I mean, Lawler was on this program or on this network earlier this week or last week, and he said, "Look, if I do nothing, SALT goes away. That's a win for me." It is, but if he does nothing and nothing passes, all the income taxes on all the people in his district go up. He wins on SALT and loses on everything else.
Well, that was the idea, putting it into one bill, right? The big, beautiful bill. It's all together.
Big, beautiful bill. They're going to get something, Connell. It might not be today. I was over on the Hill earlier today, and a lot of my former colleagues said, it was a good meeting. Nobody really changed. They're going to get there, but it might not be on schedule.
Okay, so a couple of things. The quote that everyone's talking about, of course, is Trump behind closed doors goes in and tells them, don't F around with Medicaid. So he wants just waste, fraud, and abuse, not cuts to Medicaid. Now, as I was talking to the Congresswoman right before you came on, the CVO score on this says the whole thing, you put it together, if you're not making big cuts like that, you're going to add a lot to the debt over the years, right? So what would you say about that?
That's right. I mean, there's no, you can dance around it, but this is going to cost a lot of money. It is. I'm all for using the current policy baseline, and I know no one cares what that is besides me, because it's really not a tax cut. It's an extension of the current tax rates. but they're going to spend a bunch of money on other things. And at the end of the day, I think one of the things that's holding up the real fiscal conservatives here, folks that I know and have worked with previously, is look, why are we using Joe Biden's spending as the new baseline? That was COVID. Why can't we go back to where we were in, say, 2018, 2019 versus COVID, come up a little bit for that for inflation, and use that as the new spending? Why is all the spending that we did when Joe Biden was president now hardwired into the system, and we're working off of that as a base? I think it's a fair question to ask. Again, these are philosophical questions. Here's the practical answer. Something is going to pass before the end of the year.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.